There was a man named Jake, a young man who was always lost in his thought. He would analyze every situation and imagine every possible outcome. Sometimes he would get so caught up in his own head that he would forget what was happening around him. It was hard for him to make a decision, and he worried about he would make the wrong choice. At first, Jake didn't think his overthinking was a problem. He thought that it was just a part of who he was. But as he got older, he realized that his constant worrying was causing him to miss out on opportunities. He would spend hours analyzing a situation, only to realize that he had missed the chance to take action. Jake started to notice that his overthinking was affecting his mood. He was always anxious and stressed out, even when there wasn't anything to worry about. He started to feeling like he was stuck in his own head and couldn't escape. One day, Jake decided that he had had enough. He wanted to learn how to manage his thoughts and stop overthinking from holding him back. He read books, talks to friends, and even saw a therapist. Slowly but surely, he started to develop a new habit and ways of thinking. He learned how to recognize when he was overthinking and how to redirect his thoughts in a more positive direction. Jake's journey wasn't easy, but he knew that it was worth it. He was able to take control of his thoughts and his life, and he felt more confident and empowered than ever before. Despite Jake's effort to manage his overthinking, he still struggled at times. His overthinking would often cheer up on him unexpectedly, causing him to doubt himself and hesitate. One of the biggest problems Jake faced was decision-making. He would spend hours analyzing every possible outcome on a situation, weighing the pros and cons over and over again. Even for small decisions like what to eat for dinner, he found it was hard to choose. Jake's overthinking also made it difficult for him to socialize. He worried about what other people were thinking of him and whether he was saying the right thing. He would replay conversation in his head over and over again, second-guessing himself and feeling embarrassed. His overthinking was taking a toll on his mental health too. Jake would often feel anxious and stressed, even when there wasn't anything specific to worry about. He was having troubles sleeping and had lost his appetite. His friends and family started to notice that something was wrong, but Jake didn't want to burden them with his problems. Despite of all this, Jake was determined to overcome his overthinking. He knew that it was holding him back from the life he wanted to live. So, he continued to seek help and explore new ways to manage his thoughts. After struggling with overthinking for so long, Jake knew that he couldn't tackle it alone. He started seeking help from friends, family, and professionals. At first, he was hesitant to talk about his struggles. He worried that people would judge him or think less of him. But to his surprise, many of his friends and family members were supportive and understanding. They shared their own experiences with anxiety and overthinking and offered words of encouragement. Jake also started seeing a therapist who was specialized in cognitive behavior therapy. Together, they worked on identifying his negative thoughts, patterns, and developing strategies to redirect them. Jake learned how to recognize when he was overthinking and how to challenge his negative thoughts. He also participated in mindfulness and relaxation techniques to help manage his stress and anxiety. In addition to therapy, Jake started exploring other ways to manage his overthinking. He read books and articles about the subject and started a journal to help him process his thoughts. He also tried new hobbies like yoga and meditation to help him stay present in the moment. With the help of his support system and strategies he was learning, Jake started to see progress. His overthinking was still a challenge, but he was able to manage it more effectively. He was making decisions more confidently and spending less time worrying about what other people thought of him. He felt more in control of his thoughts and his life. Over time, Jake's hard work started to pay off. He started to develop a new relationship with his thoughts and found ways to manage his overthinking. One of the most helpful things he learned was to challenge his negative thoughts. Whenever he started worrying or overthinking, he would ask himself if his thoughts were really true. He learned to identify and challenge cognitive decisions like black and white thinking or catastrophizing. This helped him to gain more balanced perspective and reduced his anxiety. He practiced deep breathing and meditation to help him focus on the here and now. This helped him to avoid getting caught up on his own thoughts and allowed him to enjoy life more fully. He realized that he was capable of making good decisions, even if they weren't always perfect. He learned to listen to his intuition and follow his own value, rather than worrying about what other people thought. Finally, Jake learned to practice self-compassion. He recognized that his overthinking was a habit and had developed over time, and that would take time to change. He learned to be kind and forgiving to himself and to celebrate his progress along the way. As he continued to practice these strategies, Jake found that his overthinking was less of a burden. He was able to manage his thoughts more effectively and enjoy more fully. He felt more confident and empowered and was grateful for the journey that had brought him to this point. Jake's journey with overthinking was a challenging one, but he was proud of the process he had made. He had learned to manage his thoughts and emotion in new ways and had discovered a newfound sense of peace and confidence. Jake knew that he would always be someone who thought deeply and analyzed things from all angles. And now he had the tools to do so in a more productive way. He was able to make decisions more confidently and enjoy his life in a much better way. Jake also realized that he wasn't alone in his struggle. Overthinking was something that many people had experienced, and he hoped that by sharing his story, he could help others who were going through the same thing. He started volunteering with mental health organizations, speaking publicly about his experiences and advocating for more resources and support for people struggling with anxiety and overthinking. As he looked back on his journey, Jake was grateful for the support he had received and those lessons he had learned. He knew that he would still have ups and downs in the future, but now he felt more equipped to handle them. Most of all, Jack was grateful for new sense of freedom he had found. He no longer felt trapped by his own thoughts and worries. He was able to live in that moment and enjoy to the fullest, and for that he was truly grateful.